Hello, Tim from Fairplay now on the 9th of January 2024. So, I've just recently watched a very interesting video from Nigel Watson. It's the one where he's basically talking about the number of people who are no longer with us, possibly thanks to certain things. And he was referring back to about 3 years ago when there were certain people in the freedom movement who were predicting that by about this time, 3 to 5 years time, the vast majority of people who had certain things would no longer be with us by now, which is clearly not the case. So I thought he was talking about that, and I thought I'd add in a couple of things. First of all, when they talk about excess, D word, number of people who aren't with us anymore, well, I understand that to be based on a 5-year rolling average. So, you sort of take the previous 5 years and the average of that, of people who are no longer with us, would be your normal rate, and then your sort of excess rate would be anything that's over and above that. But if you're basing that on a 5-year rolling average, well, we're now sort of 3+ years into that. So whereas at the start of all this excess thing, the 5-year rolling average would have included years like 2017, 18, 19, etc. Well, now especially as we go further into this year, it's going to be 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24. So all years which have had increased levels of people no longer being with us. And that means that if that rolling average is increasing, that is going to obscure, I'd have thought, actual excess, numbers. If you think about it, if the averages come up, you're no longer going to have an excess situation, and then people could turn around and say, well, what's the problem? Because there's no excess things going on here, which might be the case because you're now comparing it against the previous few years, but it will still be an excess if you're comparing it against years like 2017, 2018. So do you see what I'm talking about there? It could be very soon that people are saying that there is no longer any excess instances of people no longer being with us, and that is just going to be kind of there's lies, then there's damned lies, and then there's statistics kind of situation. So that's an interesting thought. But after I saw this Nigel Watson video, I just did a very quick online search, and current world population, I think is the term I put in, or current world population 2024, and these are the figures that they came up with. So the current, what it says is the current population of the world in 2024 is 8,118,835,999, which is a 0.91 increase from 2023. I'm presuming they're sort of doing all of these, they get these figures early on in these years to include 2024 already. And then it goes on, the population of the world in 2023, so this time last year, was 8,045,311,447, which is a 0.88 increase from 2022. The world population of the world in 2022 was 7,975,105,156, which is a 0.83 increase from 2021. And then finally, the world population in 2021 was 7,909,295,151, which was a 0.87 increase from 2020. So what those figures say to me, that if the powers that shouldn't be have got a certain agenda, I'm sure you know the one that I'm talking about, the one that involves the 500 million thing from the Georgia Guidestones, and basically trying to get the number of human inhabitants of the world down, that particular agenda. If that is the case, they're not being very successful, are they? Because the population of the world has been climbing from 2020 until now, and you might say, well, maybe the agenda isn't to kind of get the numbers down. Maybe they want to stop the increase so it kind of plateaus out, or at least to slow the rate of growth year on year down a little bit. But looking at these figures, they're not even being very successful at that, are they? It seems like the rate of increase is increasing itself, because, like I say, the 2021 level of increase over 2020 was 0.87%, and the latest one, 24 over 23, is a 0.91 increase over the previous year. So the rate of increase seems to be rising as well. So if this is what the agenda is, so far at least, over the first 3 or 4 years of the plan being secretly rolled out, it doesn't seem to be very successful at all. They're not achieving any kind of decrease. They're not even stopping the increase, and they're not even stopping the increase of the rate of increase either. So it's a failure on all fronts. What might happen in years to come, who knows, as things sort of go on more and more. Maybe we'll start to see a slowdown of the rate increase next year, or within a few years, and then maybe after 5 years the rate of increase will have almost stopped, and then after that, after maybe 10 years, the decrease and the rate of decrease will start accelerating. But considering we're already a few years into this thing, it doesn't look like it's working. So that says two things to me, or two possibilities. It'd be nice to hear your thoughts on this. First possibility is what they're trying to do is an abject failure, and the second possibility is that this agenda of decreasing the number of inhabitants wasn't actually a thing in the first place. So I've actually got these figures from a site called macrotrends.net. If you do that search, total world population 2024, it's one of the top sites you come to. So whether these figures are 100% accurate or not, that could be another factor. I've got no reason to disbelieve them unless the powers that shouldn't be are being so Machiavellian that they're actually sort of putting out false figures to give the impression that things are still increasing when it's in actual fact going the other way. But there's so many people around the world who keep a track of these things that that sort of thing I would have thought would have been quite difficult to achieve. So I'm kind of inclined to sort of think these figures I've just read out are reasonably accurate at least. So anyway, a few interesting thoughts. I'll leave a link to Nigel's video that I've talked about in the sort of description box below there, so you can check out what he was saying. But yeah, I think this whole question is very interesting, and certainly the predictions that the people Nigel mentioned that they were coming out with 3 years ago doesn't seem to be happening. There doesn't seem to be much sign that that's happening to nearly the extent that they were talking about. So yeah, some interesting thoughts there. Don't know what you think of what I've said here. As always, I'm always pleased and happy to read your comments and to see your thoughts. So do let me know. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.